In Purgatory, Canto 6, Dante is still trying to get away from the flock of souls from Canto 5, the ones who died violent deaths, and beg him to have the living pray for them. He compares the situation to winning a game of dice, and as the winner walks away with his winnings, the onlookers follow him and pester him for a little handout, which the winner ends up giving away so they will leave him alone. He says, "Such was I in that thick crowd, turning my face to them on this side and that, and making promises I loosed myself from them." So basically, he's like, okay, okay, I'll have them pray for you. And that's how they end up leaving him alone. And Dante does keep his promise, and he briefly mentions in the text some of the names he can remember. But then he recalls that in the Aeneid, Virgil actually said prayers were useless. So he asks him, in a certain text, you expressly deny that prayer can bend the decree of heaven, and these people pray for just that. Would their hope then be in vain? And in a very poetic way, Virgil basically says that back when he wrote the text, the problem wasn't exactly the prayer. It was that the prayer was not reaching God. Because remember, Virgil died in 19 BC, and back then, people still prayed to pagan gods. And he also says that when Dante meets Beatrice on top of the mountain, he can ask her these questions more in depth. To which Dante gets really excited. He's really looking forward to seeing Beatrice again. And he says, "Let's go then with greater haste." And at this point, Virgil spots a man sitting by himself who looks very proud, disdainful, and reserved. They approach the man, and Virgil asks him for directions. But the proud man doesn't answer him. Instead, he asks Virgil where he is from. And Virgil says he's from Mantua. And that prompts the man to get up and introduce himself as Sordello. And he says that he's also from Mantua, and they immediately embrace. This is very triggering for Dante. He says this man who was at first so disdainful, upon hearing that Virgil was from the same city in Italy as him, all of a sudden is up on his feet and embracing him. But in the meantime, all of Italy is at war amongst itself. There is no brotherly love. And he goes off on a diatribe about Italy that is beautiful, horrible, and emotional all in one. He refers to Italy as a dwelling of grief, a ship without a pilot in a great storm, a whore, a saddled horse with no horseman. He says neighbors gnaw at each other, there is no peace, and it's plain shameful. He says the current German Emperor Albert has abandoned Italy, and as such, it has become an ungoverned savage beast, untamed and wild. That Emperor Albert and his late father are greedy and have laid the empire to waste and set the nobles in distress. He says, "Come and see your Rome, which weeps widowed and alone, and day and night calls out, 'My Caesar, why do you not keep me company?'" And he even questions whether God has averted his eyes from what's happening, or is there a higher purpose they not yet understand. He says the cities of Italy are filled with tyrants. And he closes with this: how many times in the period that you remember have you changed laws, coins, offices, and customs, and renewed your members? You will see that you resemble that sick woman who cannot find rest on her mattress, but shields her pain by tossing and turning.